Hi, this is Tony Self with Harcourt's Hunter Mason Realty, giving you another selection of how to work with auction.com and foreclosure properties. As I promised in the last video, I was going to bring up how you can find the bank-owned properties. Those are the ones that everyone's looking for, which did not sell at the auction steps. And this is where it is actually owned by the bank and then put onto these sites and other sites for sale as a bank-owned real estate. So first of all, you need to make sure there is some inventory of foreclosed properties that are bank-owned. And we're going to go ahead and use auction.com again. So let me go ahead and launch my browser. And here we are at auction.com. Once more, full disclosure, I was an employee at auction.com, so I do have some inside information and a bit of a bias. It's a pretty good site. So here you see all are bank-owned or foreclosure. So I know that there are some bank-owned foreclosures in Las Vegas. Their market there is struggling just a little bit, not as much here in California. So we will find some bank-owned properties. So once you open up that, I'm doing a search in Las Vegas. It has a nice little map here on the side. You'll notice right here, you want to filter it down. So right now there are 86 properties in Las Vegas, Nevada that fit the foreclosure item. What I want are bank REOs. So if I look under here under asset type, you'll see there's an option called REO bank owned, which stands for real estate owned, bank owned properties. These are properties that did not sell at the court steps and are owned by an institution. Foreclosure homes, those are probably prior to, I'm not sure what that one is. It's still owned by the owner, probably a trustee type of sale right at auction. And short sales, this is represented by agents. The owner's still there, so these kind of seem the same. But anyways, the one you want to look at is REO bank owned. When I click that, it now adjusts down to 10 properties in Las Vegas, Nevada that are bank owned. So then I can take a look at it. This is where the bank will have an algorithm that you can utilize. And most of the time, there's not a reserve price. So you can see here, I'm trying to find one there's some action on. I don't see any action on these here. Opening bid. Let's go to this one right here. All right, so this is on auction.com. It's a bank-owned property, meaning that this is owned by an institution, a mortgage company, or investor. They have it for sale on auction.com. This has had 132 views. What I'm looking at is they'll give you an estimated resale value. So this is not necessarily where it's going to sell, but that's kind of the resale value. And we have what we call the opening bid. So this opening bid is not where it sells at, but where it starts. And there's usually a reserve that they must exceed in order for the institution to say, yes, I'll accept that offer. And typically that reserve, you can find it if you look at this property, what was owed on it. Because if it didn't sell for what it's owed, then it goes back to the bank at that debt. So typically that's going to be the reserve price plus. Some institutions will have that reserve price and also a few percentage points up top just to kind of make some, but they want to get rid of this particular property. So this tells me also a lot of good details here. You can register for the auction. The auction starts in 2 days and 12 hours. You can add it there. This is occupied, meaning that the owners who were the owners of the property are still there, or tenants. Also title liens, most liens are removed. But again, some may still remain. So this is really important to understand too. So most liens are removed after foreclosure property sale, but certain may remain. Here are some examples. Any lien recorded on a title prior to the time of the foreclosing mortgage. First mortgage of the foreclosing mortgage is a second or third mortgage. HOA or COA assessment liens in certain states. Mechanic liens in some states. Government liens as state and federal tax liens, city or county liens, IRS liens may buy the property within 120 days after sale, the price paid at foreclosure sale, code enforcement liens, environmental liens, utility liens, child support liens. This is why it's really important to get a title report done before you buy into the auction, because sometimes they'll give you this info, but you always want to make sure it goes. Now this one has a broker co-op, and there's also an agent who represents this particular property, which means that this is probably on the multiple listing service. So that's another thing too about these REO properties. I was an REO agent. I worked for a bank, and we put them in the multiple listing service. So usually when they hit the bank, because the bank wants to get full exposure, it's rare to have it not on a multiple listing service. So you can usually find it with your professional, and because there's a co-op offer, they typically will work with you. However, if your agent has not submitted offers on an REO property before, make sure they understand or work with an agent who has, because what happens is that typically REO agents are most like kind of like pseudo government or pseudo corporate, and they have a very strict policy. They will not reply back. You have to submit it because of volume, that kind of thing. But we all come in different flavors, real estate agents. So that's kind of the insight of what to look for REO on auction.com. This is Tony South with Harcourt's Hunter Mason Realty, bringing some information about, little tidbits here and there that I know. If you have any questions about auction.com, by all means, give me a holler. Look forward to the call. You have a great one, and we'll talk very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.